No. I thought it was going to be good for two, for Best Show and Best Actor for Jeffrey Rush. That was about as much as I was expecting. I was just as shocked as anybody. I bet the folks at National Geographic were pretty excited this morning when that news came across. But I was just going through the nominations, and I was just like, oh my, there's another one for Genius. There's another one for Genius. I was really, really impressed. I mean, look, Einstein is the world's, what do you call him? The world's most famous, most beloved scientist? World's favorite genius. He's a Nobel Prize winner. He's such an important character. I mean, of course he's going to win an Emmy. It's probably a no-brainer that his life would be Emmy-worthy as well. Listen, I think that National Geographic was really smart in doing a really kind of a prestige 10-episode look, biographical look at such an iconic figure. And I think the Academy recognized that was worth honoring with all these nominations. Well, don't forget, my favorite one was they got nominated for outstanding hairstyling, and Albert Einstein's iconic hair and the mustache. And listen, the series kind of followed Einstein from like a teenager till his death, and so for all those decades, they were able to make it change over the time, and it is well deserved, that honor. Yeah, obviously the acting award and the overall award. Another one that caught my attention was the costuming. This was a period piece. It took place in the early 1900s. Actually, it took place over several decades. It starts in the late 1800s and ends, I think, in the mid 50s. And so, they did an excellent job. You really felt like you were watching, a period costume drama. And, we're used to seeing. I guess we're kind of spoiled now as TV viewers, whether it's Game of Thrones or The Crown or Downton Abbey or any of these kinds of prestige dramas where it takes place in a different era where, but they did an excellent job. It also, the show took place in multiple decades and in multiple countries. And so they had to deal with a lot of different moving parts, and I think that's why they got that nomination. I was actually, I was pretty critical during the episode recaps that I was writing and some of the post episode interviews that you and I did. I was very critical of Mileva, who was Einstein's first wife. She was just a very grating character. To me, it was like fingernails on a chalkboard. That being said, the actress who played her, I thought, did an excellent job of playing such an unlikable character. So I actually, this morning before the nominations came out, I actually thought for a moment that she would get nominated and Jeffrey Rush, who played Einstein, would not get nominated. But I was wrong, and I'll admit that right here on our Facebook live chat. But so that, to me, I thought that was a little bit of a snub that she didn't get any nominations. What about you? No. So he played the young Einstein for people who don't know. Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah. Now, Chapter 1 got a nomination for Best Direction, right? Yeah. But we have 2 months to prognosticate. I think, right? It's July, August, September. We have 2 months, I think, until Emmy night. I'm just looking at the list. The two big awards that stand out. The overall series. It's up against The Night of and Fargo, which are two shows I actually really enjoy. So it's kind of choosing which of your kids do you like best. And even I'm looking at the lead actor. Jeffrey Rush was phenomenal. I said this in my article today. Jeffrey Rush has the triple crown of acting. He's won an Emmy. He's won an Academy Award. And and he's won a Tony, I think, also. So yeah, if he wins a Grammy, it becomes an EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. I think it's going to be hard to beat, though, Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes. It's just such a fan favorite. People, for the last several years have just really fallen in love with that portrayal of Sherlock Holmes. So we'll have to see what happens. Oh yeah. I, I would just say this. Just one last thing about Jeffrey Rush is that, I mean, to me, I hated him in Pirates of the Caribbean. So to me, he's kind of seeking redemption here with his portrayal of Albert Einstein. So if he wins, hopefully he'll be rewarded for that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, with Genius, this Einstein series, first 10 episodes they did was about Einstein, and it was really, they were just kind of taking a step off the cliff and see where they end up. So I think when you're in that situation, any news is good news. So the fact that you got name brand actors in it, the fact that you got critical reviews for it, and now the fact that you got these Emmy nominations, it's all icing on the cake. And so I think for the people who are making the Picasso episodes for next year, it's really setting the expectations high now. You got to get a name brand actor, you got to get positive reviews, and you got to get those Emmy nominations. And Einstein, you know this better than anyone. Einstein, you mention him to anybody, a 5-year-old kid or a 75-year-old man, and everybody knows and loves Einstein. Picasso, is up there, but it may not have that same belovedness, instant belovedness that Einstein has. So. Yes. So I do think it's an uphill challenge for those people who are making next year's Picasso episodes. But, maybe we'll be having a conversation a year from now congratulating them on their 10 Emmy nominations. Yeah. Thanks.